it's been a challenging year for the restaurant sector. The industry has had to readjust the way it operates depending on lockdown restrictions. The readjustments have been financially devastating for some. Will the current restrictions be extended, and how will the sector survive? To speak to us on this, we're joined by eNCA reporter HeidiGiokos. Heidi, we've heard of, or we've seen a list of so many restaurants sent by the Restaurant Association that have actually been closed. Quite a sad situation, especially for those who work there.
Extremely sad, Masako. Really a devastating picture that we're seeing here. We know that just in the 2 weeks that the country has been in adjusted level 4, we know about 1,000 restaurants have shut down because they are unable to survive. But we are joined by restaurant owner for Nikos and French Cafe, Marina Appelbaum. Thanks so much for your time, Marina. We really appreciate it. I think let's just start off with how you have been able to survive. This has been an industry that's been hardest hit. With every time there's an adjusted level, alert level, it seems as though the restaurant industry is always impacted. How are you surviving?
Thank you, Heidi, and welcome. So here's my beautiful French cafe, the old Ducky French Cafe. On a Sunday, we would generally be packed with patrons and everybody supporting us. We are very, very connected in this area of Pine Slopes with our community. We have been very fortunate. We have a lot of customers who are coming and doing deliveries and picking things up from us. But the situation this time round seems to be a lot more dire than the previous 2 lockdowns. So we have certainly reduced the number of our managing staff, our waitrons, our kitchen staff, both sides of the restaurant, and we are feeling this. It's a terrible situation this time round. I don't think that Cyril is in an enviable position. Of course, we all understand the dynamics that this is a third wave, that the numbers are not coming down substantially. But as a restaurateur who owns a lot of restaurants, I can comfortably say that there is no doubt that we can sustain our current numbers and stay open in this current position. It's a terrible situation.
And just speak to us about some of the measures that you've had to take as a restaurant owner to adjust and possibly make it a lot more easier for people to come and buy at these restaurants, and also just to sustain payment for your workers, because we do know that there have been issues with TERS and UIF. Speak to us about the impact that it's had on your workers and your staff.
So there's no doubt, as I mentioned earlier, 80% of my staff at Old Ducky are at home waiting, really on tender hooks, waiting to see whether they're going to be able to come back. The 20% staff that are here, we are scraping along. The reality, Heidi, is that when you go to deliveries, the 2 main sources is obviously Uber and Mr. D. So these third-party aggregators are making a lot of money from us. So to be clear, 30% of what I have made from a food perspective, 30% of that goes to Uber and a little less to Mr. D. So these third-party aggregators are making more money currently than we really are, because we are struggling along, and we're doing things like doing specials. Everyone's doing a special to try and get people to support us. So from a deliveries point of view, we're making a loss. We've got these huge volumes of trying to be, here's a Euro special, come and get this, you'll get something, in exchange. The Uber and the Mr. D's are the first port of call, but they're not the most profitable for us. For us, what we need are people to come and support us, for people to do call and collect. But as it currently stands, it's not sustainable. We are not going to be able to survive if Cyril does not lock us, does not open us up marginally. We're not talking about, and I wanted to say, Heidi, when we were talking earlier, I told you something that is absolutely correct. 150 staff members in the previous lockdowns consistently through the past year and a half. I have not had a single COVID case, not one. Why? My staff are well trained, the protocols are upheld. We continuously strive to make sure that our patrons are safe, and we have not had a single COVID case. That says something. That's got to say something. Also, our staff here are very well versed. When they go home, they have their sanitizing bottles. They understand the concept that you have to wear masks the whole time, as do my kitchen staff. We are following these things to the T, and we are proud of that. But if we do not open, if Cyril doesn't turn around, Mr. President Cyril, if Cyril doesn't turn around and really review our current situation, more and more restaurants will have no choice but to close down.
Thank you so much for that insight. I think it's important to get an understanding from restaurant owners as to what the situation actually is on the ground. And as you can see, Masego, behind me, not a single person, even in the restaurant next door, the restaurants just down this path here as well, not a single person. So the cry and the plea is for President Cyril Ramaphosa to consider an alternative, especially for the restaurant industry, as many have lost their jobs and many restaurants have shut down.